as an Oklahoma fan, there's one thing frustrating you and there's one thing frustrating myself, and we're not going to bury the bag here. It's talking about the tight end position in the portal for Oklahoma. Obviously, there's a commitment coming down tomorrow that maybe could go in Oklahoma's favor. But if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're extremely frustrated by what's going on right now. And, the question is Brent Venables going to make a critical change at this position for the better of Oklahoma football? Your job is on the line next year. That's what we're told. That's what everybody keeps saying. I don't feel like this position should be lacking this much at Oklahoma. So we're going to dive into it. We're going to discuss it. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. So join the discussion. Jump in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. If you have not already and you're new to the channel, wipe your feet. Hit that like, hit the subscribe button. It's completely free to do that. It helps keep the channel free, helps me bring content, transfer portal recruiting all off season long. All right. So the tight end position for Oklahoma, guys, it's just not there. This has not been a strong suit for Oklahoma. And I just remember not even 5 years ago, this was a good position. You had Mark Andrews in the NFL. At one point, you had Grant Calcaterra. You had Austin Stogner here with Oklahoma, and then he went to South Carolina, came back, and then didn't do anything. This has been a pretty strong position for Oklahoma, even as up to recently, just talking about some of those guys, Braden Willis. But then you look at it over the past couple of years, and it's just been dog shit of a position. I'm sorry. That's what it is. And the players, I don't know if it's necessarily their fault. It feels like it's a development issue on Oklahoma's side and the ability of the coaches to be able to go utilize that position. These guys, I feel like, want to give it their all. They want to go out there. They want to play, and injuries sideline them, or it just feels like the scheme isn't there for these guys. And if you look at what Oklahoma currently has in their tight end room going into the next season, well, you're going to be losing both of your top two producing tight ends in the room, your only two producing tight ends in that room. Bauer Sharp's already transferred to LSU. The older Roberts brother, Jake Roberts, he's going to be done with football at the end of the year. He's old. No more. No more Jake Roberts. So you're going to have Caden Helms, Caden McIntyre, and then you're going to have Devon Mitchell. And I know everybody's clamoring at Devon Mitchell. We all want to see what Devon Mitchell's made of. And I think that's where the bowl game really needs to come into effect, right? As an Oklahoma fan, you and I want to see some of these younger tight ends step up. We want to see what this room looks like, because if you're not able to land guys in the portal and you're not able to go after the top tier tight ends like Max Clare and those guys, then you must feel pretty damn good about what you have in this room. So if you're Joe Jon Finley, you better be proving your worth and your value in this bowl game. You better be showing Sooner Nation, Ben Arbuckle, and Brent Venables that three of the guys that are in this room right now that are going to be here next year can be dudes for you in the future for Oklahoma football. But the question is, what's Oklahoma going to do right now? Because you still have to go get at least one or two really good tight ends in the portal. Now, there is a commitment coming up tomorrow. This could go in Oklahoma's favor. I have not had a chance to dig into it today. I've kind of been busy with the baby and everything. Sophomore out of Kennesaw State, 6'4", 240 pounds, originally from Milton, Georgia. This past season, 18 receptions, 217 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Right? And this is part of a Kennesaw State team that was bad. Won one game. Not a good Kennesaw State team. So he will be announcing his commitment tomorrow at, I believe he said 10 a.m. Eastern time, maybe, I think is what it was. So you guys will have to keep your eyes peeled for that. This could be a win for Oklahoma. This is a guy that Oklahoma's been talking to. They've been interested in. It felt like for a while maybe it was going Oklahoma's way, but we're still waiting to see, right? So we'll find out a little bit more tomorrow. But the question is, why can't Oklahoma go get some of these other guys in the portal, even if they're a little bit unproven, but just to build bodies in the room, because you just don't have it. But I think the one guy everybody really wanted Oklahoma to go out there and get that we didn't really push for, it feels like, is Max Clare. 6'4", 240-pound sophomore out of Purdue. Past season, 51 receptions, 685 yards, 4 touchdowns. I know a lot of people are going to ask questions about Koziol, the 6'7" tight end out of, I believe it was, what was it? Ball State, or I'm trying to think what they were, that team. You guys know it. You guys will correct me in the chat. Oklahoma really didn't have a shot with him, apparently. Towards the end of that recruitment, I found out Oklahoma didn't even have a shot. We've been told that maybe they had a shot. They didn't. That kid wasn't leaving the North. No way in hell. He wasn't coming down to the South. So you look at it and you say, Joe Jon Finley feels like he's missing. So if you can't go out there and get a guy like Max Clare, and you maybe can't go out and get a really young guy that could be potentially really good, Gavin Hill out of Florida, who else do you go out there and get? Well, this comes down to, does Brent Venables need to make a change? Does he need to make this critical change for the future of Oklahoma football? And in my opinion, yes. Joe Jon Finley's been around. He's had an opportunity to recruit well. He's had 2 tight ends in his backyard, Cooper Alexander in the 24 class. You've had Nate Roberts here in the 25 class out of Washington, Oklahoma. He couldn't go out there and land either one of them. He couldn't land either one of them. You look at some of the other tight ends that he's missed on, couldn't land them. And although I know some people will say he has recruited well, Devon Mitchell, guys, in my opinion, this is my opinion, don't know this for sure, would not be here if it wasn't for Michael Hawkins. Michael Hawkins is his dude. Then you look at a guy like Caden Helms and McIntyre. Yeah, those could have been good evals, but they haven't been healthy enough to be on the field. So you still have to be able to go out there and get guys in the transfer portal, and you have to be able to go out there and get guys on the recruiting trail that can beat dudes for you in this room. I'm sorry, Josh Fanuel, who I think we all had a really high expectations for, he was a miss. There's been other guys that were a miss as well. And so you have to, if you're Brent Venables, start asking yourself if this is a critical change that needs to happen, a critical coaching change that needs to happen for the betterment of this team to go out there and win 9 or 10 games next season, because that's what I think it takes for Brent Venables to go out there and save his job. Not saying they win 9 or 10 games because it's too early to really tell all of that, but he needs to win 9 or 10 games next year to save his job. 8 games next year, not really sure. Might have to depend on your wins, but that means you got bad losses if you win the good games. And so for an Oklahoma fan like you and I, we're just frustrated, right? And I think that's what this video is. This is a frustration video of we feel like we could do better. We feel like Oklahoma has better proven history with developing tight ends and utilizing tight ends to be whiffing on good tight ends in the portal, on the recruiting trail. I'm sorry. There's no excuses to not get a guy like Nate Roberts when you need one. Hopefully, Trene Washington turns into something special, because I think right now, that's your only hope if you're an Oklahoma fan. So, Oklahoma fans, if you guys are new to the channel and you guys have not already, make sure you guys go hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Join the discussion. Jump in the comments below and give me your thoughts on if you think Brent Venables needs to make this change.